Good morning, everybody. Maybe lots of you aren't watching me live because maybe you're Welsh and you're watching the football, which I'll be watching after this. Come on, Wales. But yes, let's do some cracker making because actually that's something that can easily be done whilst watching the television, whatever it is that you like to watch. So yeah, I've seen a few things pop up recently on social media, trying to find ways to obviously be a little bit better for the environment. And obviously I think we're all aware of how bad crackers are, especially kind of the cheap materials that are used to make them. And then obviously the fact that most of the things are non-recyclable, and including the kind of the not very nice, the kind of fun for a minute gifts that come inside, but actually they generally are items that don't really work or don't really have any function. So yeah, there's actually quite a lot of things that you can buy. I'll try and remember some of the things that I've thought of this week. And you can also, I did Google, good cracker gifts, and obviously someone's written lots of blogs about it. So it was quite easy to come up with lots of ideas quite quickly. And then it depends on what your crafting preference is. Like I can talk a little bit about making one with cardboard, but I'm focusing today on sewing one, so making one out of scraps of fabric, and it doesn't have to be festive fabric. Inside I can change it around actually. On the inside I've just got some red kind of polka dot and floral fabric, and on the outside I've got some Christmas fabric, and I can change them around, so I can use this year and then this the next, so that's quite nice. And I've just cut them so they're two-tone like this, just for a bit of fun really, just very simple patchwork that was achieved. And you may have spotted there in the center, good old family fave, the toilet roll inside. And then this one here was just again something I saw online, and I've actually I think this is the one that I'm going to go with this year. I really like crocheting whilst relaxing, but the thing I really like about it is that it's got that stretch. So you do get the fun of the snaps, because although obviously you're trying to be environmental, it is quite nice to have the effect of the snaps. And you can really easily buy a small pack of snaps. There's often things on, I looked on Etsy, and there were pages that were selling 10 snaps, 10 hats, and 10 jokes. But obviously there is also ways that you can make your own hats and your own jokes as well, obviously. So yeah, you could do it as you please, or you could get people to shout snap if you forget to buy them. But inside again is a toilet roll. So whilst I got this one out, I'll run through how I made this. But for those who are newer to crochet, you might find it easiest just to build a little rectangle, which is the kind of the circumference. So I just measured the circumference of a toilet roll, and it's about 14 centimeters. So you need to make a little rectangle that was 14 centimeters by the length that you want your cracker, which is generally about 30 centimeters. Now you can see I've got this kind of seam in here. That's because I like to just crochet non-stop. I hate putting things together afterwards. So I'll show you how I did that. So let's see if I can find a better angle. The only problem is it'll be in reverse for you, but hopefully it's kind of more suitable this to people who can crochet a little already. So hopefully you'll understand what I'm doing. So the first thing you need to do is create a slip knot, as always. And then you need to create a line of chains which measures about 14 centimeters. Like I said, that's the circumference of a toilet roll. So you can use any yarn that you have at home. You're just looking to make a chain that's about 14 centimeters. So let me just double check. I've got there. I'm giving it a little bit of a stretch because I'm quite a big crocheter. So I think it's okay to give it a little stretch, because I also want it to stretch around this as well. So I'm just going to add 2 more there. So I'm using a chunky yarn, and that took me 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 chains got me to 14 centimeters. I like to crochet quite quickly, so I'm just going to go for a treble crochet. So I'm going to do 3 chains in there, and then I'm going to start doing my treble crochet. So treble crochet in UK terms is yarn over, then I'm going to skip those 3 chains, and then I'm going to, those 3 chains are the turning chains for those who are a little bit newer to crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go into the 4th chain. Oh, missed it. Into the 4th chain, yarn over, pull through, and then I'm going to do yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a treble crochet. But again, just use whatever stitch you're comfortable with. I've just chosen a nice big one because I've only got 4 weeks to go and I've got quite a lot of Christmas things that I need to prepare. So I think if I'm going to make crackers this year, they're going to have to be treble crochet ones. So all I'm going to do then, oh, I've missed a step. Sorry, 2 seconds. I knew I did this exactly the same when I made this week. So I need to go back to where I was at 14 centimeters. Sorry. And then this is a new thing that I've learned recently, so that's why I keep forgetting it, is that I'm going to connect the 2 together like so. So I've got a 14 centimeter circle and I'm just doing that with a slip stitch. So I've got a little loop of chains there. And now I'm going to do my chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to put my stitches in all of those chains except for the 3 chains that I just built. So I'm just going to go in and do that stitch I just showed you. And I'm going to do that all the way around. So I'm just going to do that whilst I chat to you because it's going to be a bit boring for you to watch that. So basically the idea is that I'm just not going to have to put it together afterwards. So I've already sealed the loop. So I'm just going round and I'm going to do, I think, was it 16 stitches in all of those chains. So just go as fast as I can. Ooh. And then I'm just going to change colour. The reason I want to show you the next row, because obviously I could just keep going, go round and round and round and just create a yellow one. But I do think it looks quite nice, stripy. And then the way I did it is that I did the colour change on the inside and therefore I never cut my balls of wool, which was, I always think is a lovely way to crochet because the last thing I hate weaving in. And I would have hated having to weave in the ends for all those rows. So like I said, I think I made that cracker because it was quite a chunky yarn in about 20 minutes, start to finish. So that's why I think it'd be quite a good way, especially if you've got a big family, you could easily make them and then get them out every year. Nearly there. You could do them, like I said, with scraps of yarn or a couple of balls of yarn would, if you did need to go out and buy them, would make a big set of them. There we go, last one. Oh, and I mentioned cracker gifts as well. So little bottles of perfume are really good. Their favourite lipstick or lip balm. What else did I think of? Like brooches, like earrings from a local kind of crafter would be good. Kind of hair accessories. For boys, it's always a bit harder, isn't it? I did think of some. Obviously, cufflinks are a bit out of date now. Like a small aftershave. I think there's like a little game. I'll keep thinking. But yeah, like I said, then Google was pretty good to me for coming up with some slightly more useful gifts than what you normally get. So what I've got now is 16 stitches in a circle connected together. So when I get to the end, I'm just going to connect it through the big loop where the chain was, and then I'm just going to pull that. So in fact, I'm not going to pull that through. I'm going to pull through my new colour. So my new colour is going to be green. I'm going to leave the yellow behind. I'm going to pull that through. The green is now the stitch. All right, so that's a slip stitch in the green. I'm then going to do 3 chains in the green. 1, 2, 3. The only thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to weave in the yellow like I normally maybe would, because I want the yellow to be there when I get back round and do another circle. So I'm just going to go yarn over. I'm going to find the first stitch. I'm going to go under. Oh, sorry, I just split the thread a little. And then I'm just going to do trebles all the way round again. All right, so I'm just going to do a full row of trebles. Okay, so I'm just going to go all the way back round to there. And then the great thing is that my yellow is kind of there waiting for me. Those who are like proper crocheters will be a bit like horrified by that because there's like obviously little stripy lines, and maybe that'll upset them. But of course, it's all on the inside, and there's a little bit showing on the outside. But they are crackers, so I don't want to get too stressed by it. So here we go. So I go all the way around. I won't keep you watching this. Going all the way around until I get back to where I started. And then when I do the slip stitch to start the next row, I just pick up this yellow thread and then I go round and do a yellow and then I pick up this green thread that will be there waiting for me. And I just kept going round and round and round until it was about 30 centimeters long. And then I popped my toilet roll inside. I then got some ribbon and then tied up either side. And once I'd obviously put it some gifts, once I put some gifts inside, some jokes, etc. So it was a bit of a quick demonstration there. But like I said, it was just hopefully giving you an idea of something that is quite easy to make. And like I said, if you're a crocheter or a knitter, hopefully you can kind of look at that and imagine a way that you can make it, from making maybe a sleeve from a jumper, something similar that you tried before, and just remembering to keep it to about 14 centimeters and then to about 30 centimeters long, and you should have your crackers made. Right, let's do a sewing one. Okay, I'm just going to push this back a little so you can see the sewing machine. Tilt this down a little. So some fabric I prepared earlier was just these little rectangles. I'll just double check the dimensions of them. They're about 29 centimeters by about 20, 22, 23 centimeters. They were just from scraps. The reason that I've cut them in half in like a kind of a random diagonal line and then pinned them together, because they're the pair of these ones that I've already sewn. So I literally just cut them all in half and then I just pinned them to a different colour. And I found that quite a nice way of, just for no apparent reason really, just to make the fabric look a bit more interesting. So all I'm going to do now, it's a very kind of not proper patchwork, but I'm just pin them together so that they recreate a square, and then I'm just going to sew them. So I'm just checking to see the sewing. Pins are kind of facing the wrong way. I'll do that. So just a small seam allowance. I'm quite enjoying patchwork at the moment. As you can imagine, here we create quite a lot of scrap material, and it's become quite a nice way to kind of just mishmash things back together, use things that we have, and actually it looks really nice, so you don't have to always have a big piece of material. There you go. All right, so that's just created the rectangle again, but just in two halves, just again a random diagonal line, just because that's what I fancy doing. Then I'm going to pop the other one on top of it. So I've got the beautiful sides on the inside and the ugly sides on the outside. Sorry if those aren't the right words, but I teach a lot of kids and that seems to work for them. And it's just going to pin it back together again. And then I'm just going to sew around the edges, but I'm going to leave a space somewhere so that I can turn it inside out afterwards. And again, if you're new to sewing, you may want to leave yourself a little chalk or a pencil line so that you don't forget to stop. I find that's often quite important. Any updates on the Welsh score, anyone? I haven't got it on. Let me know. Here we go. I forgot to actually put the comments on as well. Let me see. Hi, Jean. Hi, Alan. Good to see you today. So just turning those corners. Remember, pop the needle inside the fabric, and then lift the presser foot, and then turn it around. So needle inside, lift, rotate. Nearly there. Okay, so just leaving, I've left a couple of inches, or do a bit of reverse. I've left a couple of inches at the end so that I've got enough space to turn it inside out. One thing that's always funny when you make something, so this is obviously like a nice way of making a cracker. But the problem with this way, you could also, sorry, snip the corners so that there turns out inside out a little bit nicer. It just helps ease it. So just turning it the right way around is when you look at things on YouTube like this. And then I was quite happy with this video and thought it was nice, but I was aware that the cracker wasn't as kind of functional because you can't really make it snap. Is that then late last night a video popped up which was quite easy to find actually, so if you did want to have a look at it, where you basically made something very similar to this, but you made two kind of smaller rectangles, and then you put a bit of Velcro on the inside of the loop of one and then on the outside loop of the other, and then therefore when you could pull them apart with the Velcro and there would be a winner. They would kind of, so that was, yeah, I was a bit gutted that I didn't have time this morning. The traffic was a bit bad to have a little go at making one myself, but I felt like the video looked like it was quite easy to make a snappable, I suppose, isn't it? Like a reusable cracker with a snap. So there we go. So we've got our two-sided fabric created. And then all I would do now, I would kind of go and iron it. So I won't make you wait whilst I do that. But I would just I would iron it all, and then I would go round, and obviously I would probably top stitch everything because then it looks like it's been done on purpose. But it's actually also sealed that hole. So just a small, like a stitch quite close to the edge, all the way around 4 edges after giving it a quick iron. And then obviously you're left with one of these. And then you can pop, like I said, your toilet roll inside. You can grab your snap. You can pop your small useful gift inside. And then you can have a little think of Christmas jokes. I did print some off earlier, but they're so rubbish. Why do you keep a slice of bread in your comic? Because I like crummy jokes. How do you get in touch with a fish? Drop him a line. So not very Christmassy and not very funny. So I'm sure you can do better than that. It's a little scrap of paper. Another thing I saw was that you could also put like little challenges on for the family as well, little joke things that people could do as well. So you could really make yours unique depending on how your family like to get together and like the activities that you get up to. So then you've got all that in there. You're just going to roll it round, and then you can just literally use some ribbon or twine on the two ends to seal it. And they do look really beautiful, I think. So hopefully you'll enjoy making either these or some crochet or knitted ones. I'd love to see your pictures. So do post any pictures on here, and I do check the messages, and I do hope that you have a nice Christmas. We have just agreed to do one more video before Christmas. We found a date that we were free, and my friend Sarah will join me, and we'll make little amigurumi, which is a type of crochet stockings, on December the 14th at 10 a.m. So put that in your diaries if you like to crochet. Sarah's fabulous, and we'll show you how to make those together. All right, have a good day. I've got to go watch Wales. Bye.